Hello and welcome to Christine's Creativity Cabinet, where beautiful fabric items can be made without sewing. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little fabric bowl. This is made all out of fabric, but it doesn't require any sewing at all. And this can make a really nice little home decor item. You can put things in it, kind of like a basket. I think this would be good for storing, if you're into needlework, it would be good for storing your yarns and threads, or just for anything, or you can just have it be a beautiful object and display it empty. And it's very easy to make, so as usual, let's get to making art. Okay, first let me explain what you will need for this project. All you really need is fabric and Mod Podge. Mod Podge can be purchased at any craft store. You'll need a lot, so I'd recommend getting a bottle this is like a 16-ounce bottle. You could make maybe 2 bowls from this, so probably want to get a good sized bottle. Fabric, I recommend cotton fabric, and you'll need 2 kinds. You'll need one that will be the inside of your bowl and one that will be the outside of your bowl. And I recommend getting fat quarters. Fat quarter is just a kind of specific size of a fabric cut that they sell for quilters. And you can find them at the fabric store. At Joann Fabric Store, they have them arranged in a rainbow pattern. I mean, you don't have to necessarily use fat quarters, but I think that's a kind of a nice way to buy them because you're not having to buy a whole lot of fabric. This project for the bowl, the size bowl that I showed you, would use about maybe 1/3 to a half of a fat quarter. So that's all you need. Let's move on to the tools. Okay, let me explain what you need for the tools. You need a pair of scissors, and these should be good quality scissors that can cut fabric. You'll need a bowl. Any kind of smooth surface bowl will work. I got this one at Dollar Tree. And you can use any size bowl you want. Of course, you will need more fabric for a bigger bowl and less fabric for a smaller bowl. You'll need some plastic wrap, which is just the same stuff you use in the kitchen. And you'll need a sponge brush. Mod Podge will ruin nice brushes, so you never want to use a good brush with Mod Podge. These little sponge brushes work just fine, and they're very cheap. And so if one gets all gummed up from Mod Podge, you can just toss it out and you can get another. Okay, let's get started making. Okay, now the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut your fabrics into strips. And you'll start with the fabric that you've chosen for the inside. And you want the strips to be, maybe about 1 inch long, an inch wide, but it doesn't have to be exact. And for the length, you want them to extend from the center bottom of the bowl down to the top of the bowl, as I'm showing you right here. Now, fortunately enough, a lot of fat quarters are folded in such a way that they're just about the right size. Like this one, you see there's a fold there, and that fold is just about the right length. So that means that I can just cut along that fold, and then you can just cut along the fold like that. And then I can cut this into strips, again about 1 inch wide, but you can just kind of eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. You need, for the size of bowl that I'm working with in this video, you need maybe about 16 strips. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take the fabric for the outside, and you're also going to cut it into strips, just in the very same way. So I'll let you kind of see how I do that. beginning. Okay, now the first thing that you do to make the bowl is you have your mold bowl here upside down on the table, and then I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap. I always find this to be kind of a pain in the butt to work with. It likes to stick to itself. Now this bowl is small enough that I could cover it with one sheet. If your bowl is a little bit bigger, the plastic wrap might not be wide enough to cover it with one sheet. So then you just lay one sheet this way, and then you lay another sheet that way. So one sheet this way, one sheet that way. Then I'm going to take another sheet and I'm just going to put it on the table underneath the bowl so that I'm not getting Mod Podge all over the table. There. Now I'm ready to get started. Now all I'm going to do is put my Mod Podge. I'm going to take my sponge brush and I'm going to make a strip of Mod Podge like this. That's about the same size as one of our fabric strips. So it goes from the bottom of the bowl to the top of the bowl like that. Now I'm going to take a strip and I'm going to lay it. This is going to be a strip for the inside of the bowl. So it's going to be laid with the wrong side facing up, right side facing down. Just lay it right in the Mod Podge there, and then I'm going to brush more Mod Podge over the top of it. Let's see if I can make that fold stay down there. Brush more Mod Podge over the top, like that. Now I'm going to take another strip, take more Mod Podge and brush some more right next to the first strip. I'm going to take the next strip and lay it on here like this so that it slightly overlaps the first strip. All the strips want to be overlapping. And again, take more Mod Podge and just cover it with it. I'm going to make sure that there aren't any significant gaps so that this strips are touching each other, slightly overlapping. Okay. Now I'm going to continue in this fashion until I have the whole bowl covered. Okay, so now the bowl is completely covered with that first layer of strips. So now I'm going to do the same process with the other strips that I cut that are for the outside of the bowl. The only difference being that these strips are going to go with right side out, wrong side down. Okay, so now I have the bowl covered with strips, and at this point, optionally, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm going to. You can cut shapes out of some other kind of contrasted fabric and decorate the outside with them. I did this on this bowl. I continued the motif here of the little birds that was part of the fabric. On this one, I'm going to take some of this inside fabric and I'm going to add some leaves to the outside. Okay, now I'm going to let this dry for about an hour. It actually will take about 2 to 3 hours for it to dry completely. But if you let it dry completely before taking it off the bowl, you'll find that the plastic wrap is almost impossible to remove. So I let it dry for an hour. It's still going to be pretty wet on the inside, but an hour is enough to make it hold its shape. And that way I'll be able to remove the plastic wrap. So I'll see you in an hour's time. Okay, it's been about an hour, so now I'm going to flip this over. That off. Now I'm going to take and remove this from the bowl. And it's going to be, this takes a little bit longer than you might think because the Mod Podge is still pretty wet. So I have to do it kind of carefully. First time you do this, you think that it's all just going to be ruined because of what happens to the bowl when you're in the process of taking it off. But trust me, it will turn out okay. This always happens. Here and get it so that the bowl finally comes off. See what I mean about that? It looks like it's all coming apart. But then, once you get the bowl off, you can reform it like this, pull everything back up, and now you're going to take the plastic wrap off. Again, the reason we're doing this now instead of later is that if it was completely dry, the plastic wrap would just not come off. We want it to come off. At this point, the bowl is still kind of fragile and soft, but it will harden and become much more firm as it dries. Okay, so now I have this off. Okay, at this point, you can optionally decorate the inside of the bowl just like you decorated the outside of the bowl before. So I cut out this little shape out of the blue fabric, this little sun shape, and I'm going to just put it down in the middle bottom of the bowl. Okay, my bowl is dry. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take scissors and I'm going to trim these edges. And that's actually something that's optional. There have been times when I've made these bowls where I've kind of liked the rough edge and I've kept it. This bowl, though, I feel like I want to trim it. So I'm going to go ahead and take scissors and trim the edge. There's my finished bowl.